So the icebreaker is about getting to know people and me introducing myself. I've given speeches before, but I've never given a speech about myself before, really, and then had to introduce myself for an entire 5 to 7 minutes. So this was actually very, very challenging for me, and I decided, what is the best way to introduce yourself and tell a group of people about who you are? And I think the best way for me to do that is to discuss values and beliefs. Because these are the things that really make up our persona, our values and our beliefs. In all other ways, physically, we're very, very, very similar, but these things really differentiate us and actually depend on how we see our world. So this is a general values statement that is very, very powerful from Teddy Roosevelt, and says, "It is not the critic who counts. It is not the man who points out how the strong have stumbled or how the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the one who is in the arena, whose face is marred with dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly." Look at the cheat. "Who errs and comes up short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and who spends their time in a worthwhile cause, who at best knows achievement, and who at worst, if they fail, fails greatly, so that their place will never be with those cold and timid souls that know neither defeat nor success." Neither victory nor defeat. Either way, the sentiment is the same. And I think this is a very powerful, powerful sentiment. Because to me, this separates that being proactive from being a spectator in life. And I'm very, very much about being in the proactive in life. Now, our beliefs and our values are very much shaped from where we grow up. Hey, there we go. I don't have a lot of pictures of me from when I was a kid, because those are all at my parents' house, and none of them are on digital files. So we had to do with this. But this is me, and this pretty much tells you about where I grew up. I grew up on a farm, and it was a farm in Southern California, so you'll notice the cowboy hat and the hang ten t-shirt. That pretty much sums up the culture. This is the only picture I have of our farm at all. It's me on my three-wheeler. I got it when I was 12, and it was an enormous amount of freedom. Imagine having a car when you were 12 years old. It's pretty much what it was like being in a rural area with any sort of motorized vehicle. So at 12 years old, I basically had a car and had my run of what I was going to do, which was very, very nice. This is a shot out over the valley there in our farm. It's right down over there somewhere, but you can't see below the clouds. So this is where we pick up our values and beliefs. Values are very general statements. Things like love, freedom, fairness, honesty. These are things that are values. And I would like to do a little exercise with you all real quick if we can. And I'd like each of you to take a moment and list your top 3 values in your life. Top 3 values. And you don't have to write it down. Just think about it if you want to, but keep that in mind. So what are the 3 things that are just guiding forces in your life for your sort of credo? Again, these are things we get when we're really, really young. 2 really important ones for me: love and freedom. The freedom one, particularly in the United States and the Americas in general, is, wow, already goes so quick. Are very, very general and are very much shared. That led me along to my next thing, my beliefs. I like challenges. One of my core beliefs is that I need to have a life that is both challenging and has adventure to it in general. Otherwise, I get very, very, very bored. And so what that belief system led me to was Austin, Texas, and starting the Austin Martial Arts Academy with my friends here and all of our students here. Or that's not all of them, but a large group of them. This is what actually brought me to Austin, Texas. I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and the LA riots went on while I was there. I thought, this might be a good time for me to move. I'm kind of not liking how it's feeling around here these days. So I went traveling around visiting a bunch of my friends. and I came to Austin, Texas, and visited a friend who had just come here. And this gentleman right here, John Hewitt, and he said, well, you know what, I'm starting up a martial arts school. Would you like to join me? I said, yeah, cool. And so that was the next 16 years of my life spent here teaching martial arts in Austin, Texas, which was a wonderful, wonderful experience. And what led me into the way that I approach things, and actually to UT eventually, which was a behavioral-based model for conflict. Conflict doesn't just appear out of nowhere. There are precursors to it. Now, in the martial arts world, we would talk about, we think of the fight. You know, the business world, that could be a negotiation. So we think about the fight, but what led up to it? What got you there? And if you can work on those things beforehand to win the fight before the fight ever even starts. Things like pre-contact cues, choice speech, body language, really, really, really important. So this led me in an entirely different direction from martial arts and actually off into UT, which is why I'm here studying communication. Because to me it's all about communication. They say war is politics by other means. And I feel that that is very, very true, and I think that fighting is communication by other means. I would like to focus on those other means, other than fighting. Quick slides real quick. The adventure has taken me to a lot of different places. I lived in Hawaii for a while. That is a volcano behind me. That was pretty cool. Europe, Burning Man, and here and now. And unfortunately I'm out of time, but this is a quick view of who I am and what I'm about, and thank you very much for letting me come here and speak to you all today. Appreciate it.